Velma, the finale! It's so close I can taste it. And just like Velma, it tastes bitter and slightly of feces. That's actually exactly how I imagine Velma sleeps. In a pool of her own filth.
Stop looking for me or your family will die.
Hear me out. What if we do it anyway? Do the world a favor.
What do you do when the person you're looking for threatens to kill your family?
That is true. He threatened her family, not her, because he knew that no one would value her in the first place. Might as well threaten someone actually valuable to society.
Scooby Doo, where are you?
That might be the first time I've ever understood why Will Smith felt the desire to slap somebody.
The only thing I've ever given up on is listening to guys' takes on female directors.
That's because they're actually accurate, and you are one, Mindy. I can understand why you can't handle the truth.
No, I'd rather listen to a woman because she'll lie to me and pretend she's my friend.
Well, the only time men would lie to you is if they're trying to bang you, and they're not.
But it's time to admit it's over.
It's true. There's no place for you in the industry. But Daphne comes up with the type of solution to the problem that I would expect from a woman.
Manifesting. Let's ask the universe.
That's right, it's that time of the month again, where your head enters Uranus.
And she will help you figure it out.
That's the universe. It's a she. Which doesn't make any sense because the universe has order, obeys laws, and is logical. I think you mean the quantum realm where no one knows what the fuck is going on. But the two unhappy couples are arguing about who gets to marry who first.
Well, let's see who can consummate their marriage first, buddy. Ain't nobody faster at that than me.
That's understandable when they look like her. I'd want to get it over quickly as well. But imagine how long he could last if she was a looker. But the news wants the opinion of Velma, for a reason no one can quite work out yet.
So, Velma.
Luckily, they replaced her with a cardboard cutout, which means they improve both her personality and her intelligence, so I think it's a perfect plan, actually. If only they'd done it with all the women in the room, we could have actually had a great television show.
Where's Velma?
Probably scampering around in the sewers again, where she belongs. But Velma decides that she wants to swap brains with Daphne, presumably because she'd like to be attractive for once in her life, although she does come up with a different reason.
So if I'm in your body, I can investigate without him finding out.
Yeah, apparently it's about hiding, and she just happens to do it in an attractive person. It will be a nice change for her, though. This will be the first time she's ever been inside Daphne without being vomited on. Daphne, though, is like, okay, no, I will do it. Why? Because you're gonna go on the news, and I want to be on the news. You do realize being on the news won't be as impressive when you look like a gremlin.
That I want all eyes on me.
Yeah, but why are they repulsed? In the other room, though, the mad female scientist, who's just a female scientist, has the original bodies where their brains were removed.
Hi.
Oh, God, that's me!
This was before I had all the wrinkles. I look so old now.
But she desperately tries to lie that I've been painstakingly fixing all of these bodies so that the brains can go back inside them.
Oh my God, that's so sex. I mean, wonderful. I can go back to my old sex.
Yes, but when you're back in a body and therefore not physically repulsive to the entirety of humanity, why would you be with Norval? Does he realize he's basically getting divorced? Fred, though, tries to get the board of his company to respect him, so he gets a horse-drawn carriage with a whip.
You have to actually crack it.
And accidentally whips one of them around the face. Although it does take a strange turn after this.
How can I make it up to you?
You can do it again.
Your mother would have.
We know how she became CEO in the first place. Is anybody surprised? After all, there aren't many ways to become a CEO. There's brains, there's hard work, lying on your back. And the first two just aren't open to half the population.
And your low center of gravity is amazing.
That's because she's so fat. That is the only advantage to her body, though.
Look at how long my strides are. I'm gonna be early to everything.
Look, everybody actually thinks I'm attractive. Yeah, well, I'm not, but at least I'm short and dumpy.
But why are your pockets filled with chocolate?
That's how she gets her low center of gravity. Absolutely, massively fat off.
Thankfully, given how the whole world bends over to help hot people.
Yes, that's because they actually want to be around them. I can understand why you've never experienced that before.
Congress just designated the comments on my social media a Superfund cleanup site.
Oh, diddums.
Look, my comments are so horrible to deal with. Everyone keeps saying I look gorgeous and beautiful. I don't know how I'm gonna cope.
I mean, I did post those pictures there for attention, but it's so horrible when I get it.
Still easier than being me.
It's true, Daphne is a victim of herself and her own greed.
Adorable and
And not. Well, the next bit is just Velma finding out that people like attractive people, and being a miserable little gremlin doesn't get you far in life.
You have such a sweet face. I trust you.
Is this surprising to
You don't trust me.
My theory is that Velma being on Earth is why aliens haven't visited us yet.
even though you required my friend Velma to put down a $500 deposit.
Got away cheap there. That would have at least required an exorcism.
She burns the novels by sexist male authors, which is most of them.
But it turns out Velma isn't being discriminated against. She is the bigot, and that's why nobody likes her. She goes into a library and starts burning books. It kind of brings back memories of when the entire city was trying to roast her family.
Toss out a s'more so I can die happy.
Those were the days.
Look at you checking out these complicated books for your father or boyfriend.
I like this, which might be my favorite character now. Look at you checking out these complicated books that only a man can read. Finally, someone speaking sense in this show.
No, they're for me.
And you're funny for an attractive person.
Could have said for a woman. This entire series has been created by Mindy Kaling and not been funny at all. I think we have enough proof. Even when they're ugly, they can't be funny.
Coffee.
No thanks.
Why should he care about you when you're nothing to do with him? It's the question you've got to ask yourself there.
Gross.
People find me attractive. How gross. Oh, all of this attention that I'm getting. How horrible. But it's not as if I'd make myself look this way deliberately or anything for it.
Move those tigers away from Elton John.
For you? No.
Don't worry, Elton John is more than capable of scaring off tigers with his own face. We got Fred winning over the board of directors. And of course, it is literally just the creators of the show wanting to humiliate the men in the show. Not as if they got a chip on their shoulder or anything. No.
We're not insecure. It's all your faults. We're just envious that you're superior to us.
I didn't think there could be a downside to being hot.
Because there isn't.
So busy being harassed and even more underestimated than usual.
People keep complimenting me and it's so horrific. I don't know how I'm gonna cope. I mean, yes, I did deliberately farm all of this attention. But don't you know, it's such a struggle being complimented all the time. No, you're not convincing anyone, Mindy. Not that anyone believes the creators of this show would have struggled with this personally.
Switch back our brains and agree that all women deal with some really annoying shit.
Like low IQ. An inability to accept responsibility for your own actions. You deal with so many problems, like not being able to accept reality, wanting everyone else change for us. Why don't you show any of the problems that women actually have, like running up student debt on pointless degrees? The brains, though, are like, the one thing I don't miss about being hot is when people used to compliment me, because the one thing I never asked for was attention. As I post my own pictures on social media, but they tell Velma and Daphne's body that Norville's mum has the body. She's like, hang on, those bodies are in Scooby.
But they were at Project Scooby. Oh my god, that's it!
I've had a thought. This might be the first one I've had in my entire life. This must be what it's like to have tackly bits.
So Velma insinuates that she's Uncle Scooby, and that actually she only had the hot girl's body so that she could escape.
Correct. But again, I'm not Uncle Scooby.
I mean, I've lied about most things this entire time, but now I've told you that, you have to believe me. After I was in Daphne's body, Uncle Scooby realized. He offered me a deal. If I helped him escape, then I could have one of the bodies as well. So everybody's escaping in these same 3 people. Not as if other people exist that you could just put your bodies in. No, it has to be these specific ones. Okay.
And after 30 years of hiding, the offer was too good to refuse.
Cancellation of this show.
But you own a brain swapping machine. You could have a different body every day.
Oh no. I made that comment, Velma. I never want to be on the same intellectual level as Velma. She says, that's true. But because the brain bodies are already dead, no one would be looking for them. But yeah, but they're also dead. So they wouldn't have anything like social security numbers, etc., etc. Whereas you could have just taken on somebody else's life. This doesn't make any sense. I warned you, Velma, to stop investigating.
I'm not Velma, I'm Daphne. My zodiac sign is Sagittarius.
Velma, if you wanted to appear thick, you could have just spoken normally. With that, though, he removes Velma's brain, and to be honest, I'm just surprised it's got any bumps in it at all. If anyone's brain was gonna be smooth, I was sure it was Velma's.
Made a very powerful enemy.
Powerful? What of? The magnetic force of repulsion. But then she falls off the shelf, cracks, and starts leaking her green goo everywhere, like the first time she got laid. And so, as this brain slowly dies, we have to travel into her psyche, which I'm not sure will survive.
What's going on? Am I in heaven?
You think you're ever going to go to heaven? That place really is letting anybody in these days, isn't it?
Am I the only one here?
Yeah, when they found out you were turning up, everyone left.
Second thought, weirded out that everyone knows you'll be having sex tonight?
I mean, I'm going to assume that it's happened previously. Why would it be different this time? I mean, they are getting married, so maybe it's the last time. But I think the most important reason why they shouldn't be freaked out is no one cares! If it's ever you feel the need to tell someone what you do with your private parts, just fire them into space. No one cares. It's time we just had interesting people around. The only time anyone cares what you do with your bits is if you're pointing them at theirs. But his father's like, I'm so proud of my son. He's turned into a man.
Never knew you had it in you to impress the board.
Whoa. They look like they've just been through a Leslie Headland casting call.
Past few days, I've found things in me you can't even imagine.
Yeah, dude, that's what I said.
I love a wedding. Suckers don't know how miserable life is going to be yet.
Maybe if you'd prioritize having kids rather than your career packing boxes, it would have been better.
I feel it in my gut.
Homemade kombucha will do that to you.
Have you ever considered making tea and then letting it rot? Then you too can be a Californian psychopath. But one of the mad cows involved actually calls off the wedding because Velma isn't there. And so because Velma isn't there, she thinks she's off ruining the wedding. So not to allow her to ruin the wedding, she calls it off. No one ever accused any of them of being logical or having common sense. And at that moment, the vacuum cleaners vanish.
Scrappy Dappy die!
Because those same people that had the vacuums were as inside men it literally told them about in the same pissing episode.
It doesn't matter if you arrest me, I've got people on the inside.
Who could they be? I wonder if they're dogs. Maybe we shouldn't allow dogs around Scrappy Doo, eh? But Norval meets his mom and she's like, these shoes are actually a messaging system. Uncle Scooby carries them around and then Scrappy tracks them when they need to meet up via the scent.
Or in this case, escape.
Scrappy escaped?
I guess we had to have a scene just where we caught them up because otherwise that would have left a plot hole and we can't have that in Velma.
Help! Get me out of here!
No, they're going to keep you in there for a long time. All the time you're against a white background, it saves a lot of effort, time, and money actually making something for you to run through. But Daphne wakes up
Velma?
and sees Velma's shriveled brain, the dank, empty husk, the thick protective layer around her central brain cell.
Velma! Oh no, hold on!
Don't hold on, please. Dry out. Play basketball with it. Now's the opportunity.
I don't want to die. I want to prove the doctor's wrong and grow old.
That wasn't so much a medical diagnosis as a hope. That was them thinking if she plops a clog earlier, we can actually prevent the damage she'll do to other people in the future. Unfortunately, Velma's brain gets returned to her body. She didn't even bang her head on the way out. It was quite unfortunate, really.
Though you better thank my Pisces moon for how much I love you.
I can only assume Daphne has that glorious mix of being incredibly easy to please with low self-esteem. You look at that, you're like, oh, who let the eldritch horror out? But somehow that triggers her one brain cell and she realizes who Uncle Scooby is.
Freeze, Uncle Scooby. Huh.
Well, that is about the detective skills I expected of Velma. I just didn't expect them to put it in the show.
I could have sworn they'd be here.
But it turns out she was right, somehow, and yet still got outsmarted as they kidnapped Daphne, threatened the only valuable person in the room.
They're not gonna do anything.
Oh, yes, I will.
Oh, no, you won't.
She's like, I love you. No, I don't care if you shoot her, it's fine.
But Velma, I'm the only person in the world who would ever possibly have a chance to love you.
No, just fine. Whatever. Easy come, easy go.
Then do it.
What?
Do it.
At this point, you're like, do what? But Velma called his bluff correctly, and you're like, hang on, could just say his name. I know who you are, that's how I know you won't do it, and said, no, we're just going to threaten them, and threaten Daphne's life. I mean, let's be honest, there's at least a 60% chance that Velma was wrong. And yes, I know it's more, but in the last two series, she has been hanging around with a lot more intelligent people than herself, so I'm thinking maybe her IQ went up by osmosis. All I'm saying is, if I had a gun, I wouldn't lose a fight to a mop. Okay, when he got hit, I thought he got hit with a mop that had a book tied onto the end of it. It just turned out to be her arms. And it turns out that because she's a vegan, her muscle mass and bone density is so thin, is so lacking, that I actually just mistook her arms for a twig. But Velma says, from the time that Uncle Scooby caught me in the graveyard, he could have killed me, and yet he didn't. And you're right, that is suspicious. I'm amazed everyone she meets doesn't just offer at the first opportunity.
So why didn't they? Because
they're scared that if they break your corporeal form, the demon that has been bound within your container vessel might actually escape and do more harm.
they must care about me on some level.
Why would anyone care about you on any level? Unless it's ground floor and they've just chucked you off a higher one. In which case, I definitely care about you on the ground floor level.
She's still alive. Do it again.
The most confounding question about Uncle Scooby is why they've always kept their identity hidden from everyone.
Why is it strange that this person doing illegal experiments and actually bringing people back from the dead, as well as taking their brains, would want to keep their identity a secret? Isn't that what? No, actually. They don't want to get prosecuted, love.
It made no sense.
It does if they don't want to go to prison forever.
48 hours in the body of a more conventionally hot girl, it could be a liability.
Are we going to say that Uncle Scooby is so hot, she has to hide her own face because people wouldn't respect her for it? Oh, and where is this going?
I'm so hot, I've got to cover up my face so people take me seriously.
It's not how any of this works. This is just how it works in the imagination of an ugly person. This is how you think the other side lives.
So Uncle Scooby is hot and loves you. Is it Jesus?
What is going on with your eyeball? How'd you even look out 90 degrees that way? Are you a fish? These are like the eyeballs of prey.
Stop from escaping with Scrappy is...
Sophie?
I mean, both serial killers from both series have been women. Normally, that wouldn't be a big issue. But Velma does everything by deliberate category. They did this on purpose. Mindy Kaling, secretly based ?
So you can be an accomplice in multiple homicides, but I'm not allowed to park in a handicapped spot?
Yes, that's because she's the disabled one.
Because there's nothing more basic than an evil stepmom.
I thought you were going to say, there's nothing more basic than she is. Wait, hang on. So now stepmoms are bad too? I can't keep up with the bigotry of this show. Just when you think you've nailed all the hate that they can spew out, they find another category. But she says, I was in the military and no one took me seriously. And yes, you can guess why. And no, doesn't make any sense.
As a young, hot female officer in the military, no one took me seriously.
How? No, seriously, how? This really is one of the, I'm so hot, nobody takes me serious. Like, no, it's because you're incompetent, love. You're a 4. No one takes you seriously because you can't do anything correctly. It's not them with the problem, it's you.
As a young, hot female officer in the...
It's not like we don't have proof. We have eyes.
And I was assigned the worst job they had.
That's because that's the only job you were capable of doing. Please say it's cleaning the toilets.
Managing spooners in order to observe meddling kids.
Spooners? Oh, so we're just crapping on the working class now as well, are we? I love this show. There is nothing more peak, entitled, privileged existence than this show. You are the people you moan about.
My only joy came from watching those videos of dogs who talk with buttons.
Oh. The worst thing is I can believe that. I watch those videos, I'm like, this is the lowest state of humanity. Like, this is basically how I see Hollywood. Not really sentient beings, just randomly putting words on a page and then thinking they're incredible. I'm so proud of what I've just achieved. I deserve your praise. Food and tickles. I actually don't know a better analogy for Hollywood. And she's like, this is the best thing ever. That and pissing restocking videos. But as she was going around actually doing work for a living, she found out the brain research and realized she could make a talking dog that could do all of this work for her.
They only agreed to hear my pitch over dinner and dancing.
It's because the only way they could suffer you is if something else could distract their attention from your face. I'm so hot. No one could bear the sight of you. You're not interesting and you had nothing to say. And so they preferred the company of actual people of intellect. So narcissistic, so self-grandiose. They couldn't even comprehend my beauty.
So I wore this dog training outfit.
But you know what they say? If the cap fits, dog on the inside, dog trainer on the outside.
Unable to see my face or body.
To be honest, we're all grateful for. Can you put it back on, love?
Objectification was nullified and they took me seriously.
No one has ever objectified you. Apart from the fact that you're barely sentient and so basically an inanimate object as it is.
Like how the school board makes girls cover their shoulders at school and
No, that's because they're at pissing school.
of making male teachers just mature.
Exactly.
Almost the entire education system is broken because there aren't enough male teachers. What do you want about? If it was only male teachers, we'd actually fix the world again. But as work went on, everyone just assumed she was a bloke. Yet strangely, when she stopped taking selfies and banging on about how oppressed she was, people started to assume she was a man. Oh look, you're acting like a full human being. How strange. But Scrappy was a monster and he kept attacking people. This is her invention, by the way, she's taking credit for. So they tried to kill him and, well, he's immune, isn't he?
It's like it's just you and me now, Uncle Scoob.
And so, because she didn't have any balls, literally, she was too scared to actually do anything about it, and so let him run rampant and just kill people.
Knowing Scrappy was invincible, I feared for my own life as well.
I was selfish.
And helped cover up his murders.
She didn't just ignore what he was doing. She actively aided him doing it. This is someone trying to explain how they're actually innocent, by the way. Every murder that we've seen, she was responsible for. Every crime scene, she set up. But then, in one of the episodes, she saw Dr. Badu in Daphne's body and realized we can body swap. So she followed her back to a lab and offered her a deal. She'll give Dr. Badu a teenage body to enter as long as she lets them escape. I'm actually not sure why Scrappy would want this deal because he's immune in his current body and he wouldn't be if he was just a random teenage girl. I mean, yes, they have the most easiest life of privilege and have everything given to them on a silver platter, but he's invincible. But as she's begging, I just want to protect my family, please, just let us escape. Turns out Dr. Badu has already put all the brains back in their bodies, which means Norval's girlfriend is now back in her body and I give it like 3 days. Now she can get an upgrade. Of course, Scrappy finds out about the plan and goes on a bit of a rampage. I was a bit disappointed he didn't say his catchphrase, to be honest. Either way, he goes for Fred's company board and, well, they assume the position.
Too late.
Definitely too late. And then he sees Velma and he's like, you need to die. Which for a villain is a pretty heroic comment. He's basically gonna save the world from evil.
No, Scrappy, go back to killing those other people.
Like I say, I think killing Satan herself might actually make up for it.
What do we do?
You can do it!
Of course, the military arrive and offer them escape in a helicopter. Of course, I've seen Mission Impossible. The hero always gets onto the plane and stops the villain. So I don't think Velma will be able to escape that way.
What are you doing here?
Saving your ass!
Okay, maybe she asked the wrong question. Why are you here? I'm saving you. Yeah, but why? By all means, bring in the helicopter. Obviously, you want to witness their demise live. There's no need to drag it out, though. Either way, they get up into the helicopter. He announces that he called in a missile strike, despite the fact that he's immune. That said, he seems to be cut and slashed in lots of places. Don't know how immune he is.
Climb up first. See you can look at my skirt?
Nobody wants to look up your skirt. In fact, I have a feeling that doing that would have the same effect as Medusa. Not because you're turning them into it, but as a self-defense mechanism for their own brain. They have to turn into stone to stop witnessing the horror.
Nice try, but that was my plan.
I mean, I can understand you wanting to do it to Daphne. I'm just not sure why Daphne would want to slum it.
No!
So Daphne goes off and leaves her. Incredibly based. I liked Daphne before this, I just thought she was misunderstood. This is amazing. Take pot shots at her with a sniper rifle on the way out.
Kill me! What, are you gonna make me laugh?
But she wants to have a 1v1 with an immortal, invincible killing machine. I don't know, maybe she thinks if I show him my sparkling personality, he'll top himself.
This is the last Saturday morning you'll ever ruin. Eat chocolate!
You're gonna give him chocolate? Because dogs can't eat chocolate. He is invincible, though. Nobody said chocolate was his one weakness.
Daphne, you swapped out my chocolate for baby carrots.
Why? Is it because of how fat she is?
So sorry. Chocolate makes me break out.
Oh, it's because they swap I get it. Hang on, wouldn't that make it the perfect opportunity? Like, now you can get fat and you're in someone else's body and you wouldn't have any side effects? Her stupidity is now a superpower. She's gonna get Velma killed. Oh, please. Oh, please. Say it so, Batman. This is amazing. As he jumped off Velma to get onto the helicopter, well, he's also knocked her off a balcony to her death. I take it back. This is perfect television. We almost burned her at the stake, and now we've knocked her off a roof. Just kick him in the face when he lands. It'll be easy. The missile hits him in midair, and I'm like, okay, maybe he went a little bit too far with this bit of the cartoon. If only it landed on Velma, though, that would have been amazing. The helicopter goes down. For some reason, there's a baby floating in midair, and Daphne's still holding on. So they crash, and I'm just like, yeah, but what happened to Velma? I hope this is the dog and not Velma. Oh, it's Daphne. Okay, there's still hope.
I'm alive.
It's Velma. That's what I want to know. So she gets saved by the murderous psychopath who should definitely be in prison for the rest of her life. But everyone seems to be fine. For some reason, Fred is getting seen to by, well, I'm surprised she's using bandages and not like searing his wounds closed with her fiery hooves or something. But of course, the immortal dog survives. Little worse for wear, but then again, he is invincible. Why are you shooting him? He's invincible. Quick, make him eat Velma. He's bound to be allergic to her.
Run away!
It is probably the smartest thing to do in this scenario, although he is a dog. It's not as if you're going to beat him. Then again, you don't have to. You only have to run faster than everybody else. There's a lot of women there.
It's okay, I'm coming.
Nobody wants to know what you do in the privacy of your own home, Velma. Did Velma just shoot lightning at him like a Sith Lord? Okay, so that's meant to be like kryptonite on the invincible dog, is it? Are you going to kill Scrappy Doo? So they kill Scrappy Doo. Talk about disrespecting the law.
Possessed. He was.
And it turns out he got possessed by Velma, who's dead, presumably. Hopefully.
Velma, you're dead.
Velma, you're dead. This might be the greatest moment of my life. Quick, somebody call the Ghostbusters. This might be the greatest finale of all time. But wait, there's more. She's definitely dead, still a ghost. And they try to save her, but can't because it looks like they're trying to do it with a toaster, which, to be fair, is all the effort I would have put into saving Velma, right?
Walk into the light and hope I'm judged on my actions and not the memes I liked?
I hope you're judged on your actions. We can get that demon back. I remember him. It's definitely going to reject you, Velma. You might get spaghettied into a black hole.
To be something we can do.
Mom, stop. It's okay.
It is. It's what you deserve. But then the evil witch comes up with a horrifying plan.
I might be able to bring you back on Halloween.
Halloween? I'd be horrified as well. We just thought we got rid of you. You think you can bring her back? Quick, someone push her off a bridge.
Provided, of course, I can find a spell that works and no evil spirit drags you to hell or something.
So you're telling me there's hope? Yes! I vote for Red Eyes. This just goes to prove that the most evil creature in all of existence can still be beaten by something worse. And what a finale. We built up to this from disaster to disaster with little glimmers of hope. Maybe she got squashed by books, hit by a car, or set on fire by a baying mob. And then, at the end, we got what everybody wanted. Velma got what she deserved. Pushed off a balcony and is about to be dragged to hell by a demon. Judged finally for what her actions have caused and the pain and damage she has inflicted on the general moral public of Earth. I don't think there's ever been a more satisfying ending to a TV show. And I think there's really only one conclusion you can have at the end of this series. Velma, welcome to hell. But those are just my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe more videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.